It is Pick Central. Brandon Walker, daily gambling show for Barstool. It's on Pick Central YouTube and out there in the world, some radio stations across this great country. So, I haven't been
Shout out to
updated.
WXYZ in Phoenix, Arizona, streaming us live right now.
That's very close, actually.
Is it?
That's very close, but I don't know if we're still on out there. But
PLJ in New York.
Don't forget WTVA down there in beautiful Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay. You got to give us one now.
Fan?
Yeah, we're on the fan. We're on the fan.
Hey, fucking the way they're going.
Right. We are on the fan here in New York City.
The fan in Nebraska?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a fan everywhere.
There is.
Anywhere you go, you can find a sports radio station that calls itself the fan, the team, or the ticket. Any of those. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something.
That's right.
The fan, the team, the ticket. There's one that's 95.7, the team.
Yeah, the team.
The team or the ticket. And there's a lot of fans. There's got to be others that I'm missing that sports radio stations go by. Hello to everybody. Hello to the chat. I thought you weren't wearing T-shirts anymore. Yeah, but I just got a fresh order in, and this could be the best T-shirt I've ever worn.
Is that
right
from The
in.
Simpsons?
So Simpsons Homer at the Bat episode. Ken Griffey Jr. This is a quality T-shirt.
Wasn't a Simpsons guy.
All right, I'm more of a Family Guy guy. I don't know. You don't seem like you watch that either, though.
Family Guy was great in its heyday, like college, little drunk.
Family Guy is a terrific. I have nothing to do for the next 3 hours. I'm just going to throw Family Guy on and let it play, and it always entertains.
Yeah,
I like The Simpsons too, but I liked it back in the '90s. I didn't really stay with it, so
it's actually surprising it's still on the air.
I'm not a Simpsons super fan, but I am a Simpsons fan.
I was surprised on the Distinct Voices draft that Peter Griffin didn't get picked.
Yeah, that's a good one. Peter Orstui, really.
I feel like Peter Griffin, like everyone's got like an impersonation they try.
Yeah.
Like every friend you know who does impersonations has got a Peter Griffin in the arsenal.
That's a pretty good one.
I was shocked that I don't even think he got mentioned at all.
But when I was looking at that draft, I was looking at the board. I noticed like the last 5 picks were all super, super strong picks. Like there were a lot left on the table.
I think it's just so wide open.
Yeah, it is.
It's very like
open.
people view things very differently, I think, when it comes to that.
So congratulations are first in order to Big Ev, because yesterday on the show, we're just offhanded. He gives out his exclusive, and it's Judge or Stanton to Homer. And then Rico, I'm going to give him credit here. I'll take a shit on him when it's necessary. I'll give him credit when it's necessary. Rico says, hey, what about a parlay? What about a parlay for both of them to Homer? Plus 1050, you got it? Plus 1050. You put it
Dabbled.
in, and bam, they both Homer.
They both
That was
hit.
a gift.
That
was a gift. That's not even on my record. That's a gift.
The exclusive Judge Homer's in the 3rd inning, not even a sweat.
Yeah. So
Second
that
one
is
in the 7th. Bada bing, bada boom.
But now that's a sexy parlay. You just hope both guys get going. You almost want to. You're going to do it again, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm going to start just parlaying guys to Homer.
Yeah. I'm talking about those two guys because
kind of like different games too.
I mean, because you could put in some dreams, like because I know it's funny because my one buddy back home has been doing it for a while, but he's hit a ton of them. You just got to get lucky. But I mean, one day, just like 3 guys to home run. I mean, they can be plus like 3,000.
I'll give you a suggestion tonight. And DeGrom's been unhittable, but when he does give up hits, they tend to be home runs. I would suggest find a Boston guy today.
Just pick a Red Sox, huh?
Yeah, I mean he could go 9 and 8 innings and give up 1 run, but the 1 run will be a home run.
I was thinking about just taking the Red Sox money line. They just don't hit for him. He hits for himself more than they hit for him.
It's so frustrating.
They just don't hit for him.
He's the best Met of my time.
You think so?
Without a doubt.
He's unbelievable.
I mean, who else? Piazza, David Wright. David Wright was hurt too much.
Yeah,
really
I guess. And those 80s
Piazza
Mets
was short term.
I want to talk to you about something. The 80s Mets, this isn't it, but the 80s Mets were they didn't stay that long. Like Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry. Darryl Strawberry didn't have a long career. Gooden, they just kind of came up and went down.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And then there was Piazza. I guess you're right. Jacob deGrom could be the best Met.
What about Mo Vaughn?
Yeah, Mo Vaughn. Benny Agbayani, perhaps?
Mo Vaughn and Carlos Delgado have never been seen in the same room. I will say that.
What about Kaz Matsui?
They're the same guy. That's my point.
I never thought of it that way.
They're the same guy.
Shit.
You don't know this about me, but I really love, the only thing I read are sports nonfiction books.
Yeah.
I love sports nonfiction books. I don't know that about you, but yesterday
I do read a lot of them.
you tweeted out read The Bad Guys 1. The Bad Guys 1 is my very favorite sports book.
Even if you're not a Mets fan, it's an unbelievable read.
The Bad Guys 1 is about the 1986 New York Mets and how they were off the field and everything. Jeff Pearlman writes it. Jeff Pearlman the best writer of sports books we have in this country today.
Which is interesting because he doesn't directly interview anybody. If you could follow, he writes a book without ever sitting down with Keith Hernandez.
Wow.
Yeah, but he talks to people about Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, so he gets a lot of it. It is like a first. It's actually surprising that he can't get these people, but it's unbelievable. The other one I read that was crazy was Boys Will Be Boys, about the fucking 90s Cowboys.
Yeah.
The opening scene, Irving stabs a teammate in the neck because he won't get out of the barber chair.
He's got that.
It's always about, he did Showtime Lakers. He always does the wacky teams.
His latest one is 3 Ring Circus about the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, which I have not read that one, but he's got a ton. I believe he has The Rocket Fell to Earth about Roger Clemens.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
I picked it up cheap from a used bookstore. It's just wonderfully written. It's just basically 400 pages of how batshit crazy and stupid Roger Clemens is.
Yeah, well, he used to make his intro music at a certain point. They had to play it at like 135 of his song when he would come out. Like he was a wacko. Yeah, he definitely is.
So I have some commenters making a big deal out of how I look. Yeah. I would like to make an announcement. I started at 265. Today, I got into the 240s for the first time in a very long time. 249. So COVID did most of the work. COVID, thank you. Shout out COVID. Great job for getting rid of the first 12 pounds, but I've gotten rid of the last 4. So I'm down to 249. Yes, I am. Let's not make a big deal out of it. I certainly don't want to do that.
What time did you wake up?
I woke up at 5:30 this morning to go.
Not a big deal, but
yeah. Well, me and you were tweeting at what 5:30 this morning.
I believe around 6 o'clock.
Because we were both up working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Not together.
Not a big deal either.
No, not a bit.
Not one bit.
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Look at me. I'm not.
Okay.
I
stay calm.
I'm gonna be the last guy too.
Speaking of big deals, is this trivia thing gonna become a big deal?
I don't think so. It is what it is.
I mean, so if you haven't been keeping up, it appears that
Listen, somebody played good when I was out of the starting lineup.
So Team ZD,
if the GMs decide they want to go that way, they go that way.
Team ZD got in as a play-in game. Now it is being debated that Dave Portnoy is going to be in the office and will compete for Team ZD, and Rico will be not competing for. I don't want to use the term squeeze out, but he will not be competing. Dave might take your spot.
Is he in Kaepernick?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the intricacies of their team dynamic. I don't know who their GM is. I think Eddie has stepped up as their GM.
I'll still get a playoff share.
I think Eddie's in a tough spot.
Eddie's in a very tough spot.
Eddie's got close connections to both sides.
I'll still get a playoff share.
I'm going to be honest. I would be terrified to squeeze you out of anything. There's no way I would, if I had you on my team.
Think I would like to have 4. I think 4 mines is better than 3.
Well, yes, I agree. That 4 is better than 3. We're not
suggesting that. He's the head honcho.
So Dave just walks in
with 4.
Dave just walks in, says, "I got 4," and that's it.
Yeah, let's go. Put it all together.
I think then he wouldn't get the joy of possibly ruining your time. And Dan and Dave live for that more than they live for anything else.
This is additional. Listen, I love the dozen, but it's not my main gig.
Oh no. But your contract does give you leeway to do a lot of things, and you worked hard. 8 years?
Yeah.
Is it 9 years yet? It's been 8 years for a minute.
8.
8 years, 3 presidencies. That's a long time. So NFL Draft is coming up tomorrow night. The NFL Draft Show. I will be on it with Roan. I will be on it with Caleb. We will be doing the NFL Draft Show. Did I say Caleb? Roan and Stephen Shea. Excuse me. Senior. I got my senior draft analyst confused. Roan, me, Stephen Shea. I'll be hosting. Roan will be giving the facts, and Stephen Shea will be giving the draft analysis. And we'll have people from Barstool. We'll have celebrities out there in the wide world of whatever, and they'll be dropping by, and they'll be doing some great stuff with us. So the NFL Draft Show tomorrow. We'll talk about the NFL Draft in a minute. I have 2 topics I would like to use for discussion. We're in the summer. It's the dead time of sports, really. We'll talk baseball gambling, but top 5 current athletes without a ring, top 5 all-time athletes without a ring. Those are going to be our discussion points for today when we need it. Last night, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits 3 home runs. The one I want to start with, though, is in the fight game. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul, June 6th in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. So Logan is the worst Paul, right? And when it comes to boxing, Jake's the better Paul.
Yes.
Jake is the better boxer.
When it comes to boxing, yes.
Yes. So Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul will fight. What do you think, Big F?
Why didn't he do Jake?
I think Logan Paul's a genius marketer. I think he's going to get a fat check and he's going to lose in a sparring match.
just to go out
Like
there.
Floyd Mayweather's not going to go in there and just knock him out, and he's going to dance with him a little bit. He's also much smaller. I don't think that really matters.
Who's much smaller?
Floyd Mayweather, much smaller.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters at all. I think he just kind of does his thing, picks him apart a little bit. He's not going to get hit. Maybe finishes him like later on. Maybe doesn't. I don't know how many rounds it is.
So what do you think? You think he goes in there and he dances with him, he kind of holds him up for a couple of rounds,
Yes.
and then he beats him, and Jake next? He could double up
no.
on the Paul brothers and just
I think Jake's trying to. I don't think Jake goes the Floyd Mayweather route, because I think it's kind of like you go Mayweather and then like that's it, because you're just gonna lose. I think Jake Paul would rather go a UFC fighter next that can actually throw hands a little bit.
an actual boxing UFC guy.
Yes, striking UFC guy. I think that's where I think, 'cause he was even brought up like Nate Diaz, who I think would make a lot of sense, because if he beat Nate Diaz, then McGregor becomes very on the table.
I'm not going to hate on anybody's hustle, because, go out and get your money, go out and do your stuff, go out and do whatever you can do. And the Paul brothers have done a great job of doing just that. But so I'm watching WrestleMania a couple of weeks ago, and Logan Paul shows up. I'm watching UFC the other night. Logan Paul shows up. Was it Logan or Jake?
Jake was at UFC.
Jake shows up. I mean, they show up to every single event and have some sort of canned encounter with somebody. Like they were talking about, it was so Daniel Cormier came out and
Yes.
challenged him to a UFC fight.
Yes.
How ugly would that be?
Horrendously. Jake Paul might die.
I mean, that would be. This is a guy that was fighting for the heavyweight championship like 3-4 months ago. 5 months ago.
Literally last summer. He lost.
Last
but
summer.
Irrelevant. The guy's one of the best fighters of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
And he's big.
I don't get into like
You
there's
think somebody will die in the ring in UFC?
I don't want to put that.
Neither
I mean,
do I, but that's fucking not a crazy statement.
the part when it always gets scary is when you see a guy get knocked out and they're still in war mode and he's out cold and the guy pounces on him. And goes,
like
bang,
what happened
bang.
at the end the other night.
You've seen it way worse though. Like
Yeah.
that definitely was like he was out and he was taking punches. I've seen much worse.
I don't know. It feels regulated to the point. Like I don't think anything ever gets to the point of death. I don't see that unless
I think
there's
it's
somebody.
like a freak accident.
That's why
Somebody-
That's why I can't really get into it. It's still like uneasy. They're fighting there's dried blood all over the ring. Like it's still uneasy to me.
I'm a bloodthirsty savage.
All right.
I guess
I like violence. As much as I say you want I give the fans violence. I like violence.
give Big Ev the blood.
I want violence.
All right.
I don't want to see anybody die, but I like seeing people get
I
knocked
got it.
out.
Yeah,
I like people seeing get knocked out and then they hug after.
little short of death violence.
We've said it
Yes.
a million times though. How desperate is boxing that Floyd Mayweather probably, is it crazy to say 8 years past his prime?
Probably even more.
I would
even
think
more.
more.
I
In
didn't
yeah.
wanna-
terms
I
of
didn't
like
wanna
your
look ignorant.
prime.
I didn't want to look ignorant. Yeah, okay. 10 years past his prime?
Probably, yeah.
And he's the name we got to bring in for a pay-per-view?
Well, he's just
no, wait. Boxing will have Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight. That'll be
You
huge.
know how much money they're making?
Yeah, they're making a
They're
shit
making
ton.
so there's I don't know
It's gonna be a
exactly
big
I don't know
fight.
exactly how it works.
Is it?
Yeah.
Some like
See it.
Saudi or
But
somebody put money into
when
it.
is it?
Did June?
I think summerish.
Yeah.
You're getting $75 million each. I don't even know how that's
All right,
possible.
fine. But you're saying it's a huge fight.
Yeah.
As a casual fan for a dying sport, I shouldn't be the first one to hear about it.
Yeah.
Or this shouldn't be the first
Right.
time I hear about it.
I-
And you could be like, well, would you head up your ass? It's not covered on ESPN.
I'm not
going
gonna
to
do that.
No, I don't think it's
I'm
crazy.
just saying, I don't. That's a problem. It's already May.
I do think-
and I don't know when a big fight is.
I actually want to so there's a documentary called Counterpunch on Netflix that
Okay.
talks about kind of the inner workings of how boxing has basically went to shit. It's a great documentary. Check it.
I would love to watch that.
These
because
dudes, it's so crazy, especially because they talk about how the Olympics and trying to get these dudes to not go pro to fight in the Olympics, and they're like, why would I fight in the Olympics for no money?
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
I felt there's this one guy. His name's Cam Awesome. He literally they give him like $1,000 a month. He's a grown man.
Counterpunch.
It's called Counterpunch.
I'll
It's
watch that.
it's just crazy because then you have these kids that are boxers and they're trying to go pro early and like they just talk about how there's so many belts, they watered everything down
Yep.
and just these big heads control everything. It's crazy.
I
but
do think this. I do think Tyson Fury is boxing's best shot at a super duper star.
for sure.
Like when he knocked out Deontay Wilder last time, he just bludgeoned him in the corner, and the corner stepped in.
He's got the accent. He's got a good personality.
He's got a very good personality. I feel like
He's not a super trash talker, but he's like a good he's like a funny
he's
guy.
funny. He's got a natural
personable.
sense of humor.
Okay.
He's got a natural charisma to him. If he beats Joshua, especially if he beats him convincingly, I think boxing does have a megastar potentially on their hands.
Also, his younger brother might fight Jake Paul.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
who was also like a reality star / legitimate pro boxer.
Does everybody just have brothers that are reality stars?
He was on like Love Island UK or one of those like type of shows.
My brother wasn't worth a shit. Of course, I'm an only child, so I didn't have one, but he wouldn't have been worth a shit.
I still think the fact that they put all these fights behind the paywall is very hard to get new fans.
Yeah, but I feel the pay-per-view model's been there for so long, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't help.
No, I don't think it helps, but yeah, I guess you're right.
You're a 9-10-year-old kid. You want to get into football, you could watch 400 games on a Sunday.
But UFC's biggest events are on behind the paywall. I know they have more on ESPN than boxing does, or at least better stuff.
Well, boxing dying helped them rise a little bit, but you're right. Yeah, but they still have some main stuff where you could watch it. But you're a 10, 11-year-old kid, and you're like, Dad, I want to watch the Tyson Fury fight. Guy's got to pony up what, $80?
But also you also
and
to
it's
take
not
into
going
account,
off till 1 a.m.
Well, that's what I was.
I don't
going
want
to
to sound like the old guy, but that's an issue.
No, that's what I was going to bring for East Coast kids.
Right.
If you're like 10 years old, it is like the main events can be at 12, 1 a.m.
Kids aren't staying up for that.
It's not how it goes. I think that's a cross-sport issue for East Coasters. I think every single major sporting event, like the men's national championship, started at 9 o'clock East Coast.
It's a problem.
Things start too late for the East Coast kids. And like I remember the first Super Bowl I watched. I remember the first World Series I watched, 1985. I remember the first NBA championship I watched. I don't think there's that connection anymore because of prime time, because of what I think sports are more for adults now than they've ever been, and they're less for kids, and that's not really good for the future.
No, especially because kids are on social media, and that's the way that things go. We talked about it the other day. It should be a day game. It should be a day game every day.
For sure.
During the
That's
week.
just how, kids just consume shit on their phone. That's what it is.
Right.
iPad, whatever.
I don't want to interrupt, but my arms hurt tremendously from the working out. From the work. So I woke up this morning and I texted my guy and I said, I'm coming. I'm not going to quit, but you can't touch my arms today. Because I couldn't sleep last night. My arms hurt so bad. And I got there, and we immediately started working out with arms. He didn't give a fuck what I had to say. I just had to stop being a bitch and get through it. And I got through it. Mountain is the perfect time zone for sports. Central is a very good time zone for sports. Central, you get everything at 7. You get college football at 11. You get NFL football at noon. Central's very good. But I bet Mountain's pretty damn good, too.
How do you feel about the Yankees 6:30 first pitches?
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I like it. Honestly, after spending that like 4 or 5 days in Chicago, Central's strong. I'm a fan of Central.
Central's very, very good because like even the NCAA tournament, we were getting done at 11. It's such a small but big difference. Getting done for the day at 11 and not 12 is a big difference. Watching something at 8 or at 7 and not 8 is a big difference.
The Sunday night games would be 7:30. What time's it?
7:30.
What time's it here? It's an 8:30 kick.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't kick till 8:40, so 7:40. But yeah, going to bed at 12 instead of going to bed at 1:30 sometimes.
And those
is a big
West
difference.
Coast like NBA games and baseball starting at 9 instead of 10. That's huge.
I have always dreamed of just spending a college football Saturday on the West Coast and starting watching games at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Magical.
Craziest thing I ever
that
did
sounds
was
magical.
we went to Hawaii and NFL kickoff was at 8 a.m.
Really?
It was insane.
That sounds pretty good.
Wake up
It's
to
like
any
the
other
London. It's
music.
like the London games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
Like
right.
9:30.
Yeah.
I guess the London games in Hawaii started like 5 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's
I
crazy.
would if it's the right teams, I would wake
Crazy.
up. Brandon, I'm really proud of you working out. Keep going strong and don't give in to the haters. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Also, TJ just texted me the counterpunch, the documentary I was talking about. His grandpa's a cameo in it.
What?
He just texted it to me.
Yeah.
Who has a cameo?
TJ's grandpa.
Grandpa. Okay.
He's a boxing trainer.
Really?
Tommy Gallagher.
That just sounds. You have to be a soccer coach or a boxing
Look at
trainer.
him. Look at this. Look at this salty bastard.
That is the boxing trainer.
I wish we
trainer
could
I've
zoom
ever
in
seen.
and see this hat.
I'm sure you can. There it
Hat on this
comes.
fucking guy. Look at this hat.
Don't make the picture big or anything. Look at that. Tommy Gallagher, the boxing trainer. That motherfucker will
That's a
fuck
boxing
you up.
trainer if you ever seen one.
That guy
right there.
That guy right there could take one hand and take me to my knees.
Yep.
What do you think he sounds like?
I feel like he's got to be Irish with that name and that hat, right?
Raspy, a little raspy voice to him.
Yeah. Hey, Rock.
Smokes a cigar.
Oh, he's had many cigars.
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got those dark glasses on inside.
Yeah. Hasn't been to a doctor in 40 years.
Honestly, because he was probably a boxer as a kid. He took a few shots himself.
I always thought that I'd be a good boxer, but then I realized I'm a gigantic pussy. and I couldn't do it.
It's a tough sport.
Plus, I feel like I'd be a good like featherweight boxer. The only thing is I'm 6'5", 260, and I would.
They'd have to give you a special dispensation.
Right? Yeah. Can I get a waiver to fight really small guys? Perhaps the women on the card. Is that okay? Monday Night Football kicks off at 2:30 p.m. on Mondays in Hawaii. Apparently, pretty good.
What time does it kick off?
2:30 p.m.
What?
Monday Night Football.
That's crazy.
That's Monday afternoon football.
It's awesome.
All right, what else you guys want to talk about? We got the NFL draft. Before we get to that, this is a real talk. I'm about to talk about an advertiser, but this is real deal. So I've been getting in shape. I've been trying to get healthy. I'm trying to do better about myself. My wife, she's home with 4 kids. It's tough for her. So I texted her last night, hey, can you cook me something good? Or not good, but cook me something healthy. And she texted me back, we got our HelloFresh box in today. I got you some HelloFresh. Sends me a picture. It's this beautiful grilled chicken. It's these beautiful sweet potatoes. It's incredible. It's just an awesome meal. It was a full meal. HelloFresh takes out the sting of grocery shopping, takes out the stress of meal planning, takes all of that out. They're the #1 meal kit service in this country. HelloFresh will send you a box, a gigantic box. And we got our box yesterday. You got yours yesterday?
I got mine.
And it is just, it's all the food's in there. It's pre-marked. It's individually wrapped. It's great, fresh ingredients. You got a card that tells you what the recipe is. It's always 30 minutes or less. It's easy. It's fresh. It's healthy. Do it. I'm telling you. You can go to HelloFresh.com and use code HelloFresh.com/12picks and use the code 12picks for 12 free meals. 1 meal from HelloFresh is very good. 12 is astounding.
I don't understand how they're in business.
Use code 12picks for 12 free meals. HelloFresh.com/12picks. That's HelloFresh.com.
They're giving away the farm.
Yeah.
You don't take advantage of it.
And it really is a farm because there are terrific ingredients in it.
No, I went through mine
They taught you
yesterday.
how to make they taught you how to make the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're not an idiot.
Literally, it's all just fresh meat.
Yeah,
Then all the groceries are bagged up for
wild.
you.
Mushrooms on the chicken I had.
Yeah.
I still got to have is it Sunday gravy?
Yeah.
Sunday sauce.
Sunday sauce.
Okay, all right. When does it become gravy? When do y'all call it gravy?
Yeah, you could call it gravy.
I almost feel like gravy's a little like I feel like people make it a thing. Like I feel like real Italians, like some do. Like my family never called it gravy.
Nah.
So is a Sunday sauce?
Do it for effect.
Is that one of those things that does it cook like all day and then you eat it at night, or is that something that is cooked for lunch and you just eat it the rest of the day?
You definitely start early.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're making it from scratch, I'm like the lazy guy. I found a place that they actually call it Sunday sauce, and you just buy it, throw it in the pot, let it. You can still let that cook for a little while, but it's already cooked. You're basically just heating it up. But it's like, don't mess with. Now there are people who make KFC jokes about it all the time. They get their cauldrons out in the driveway,
right,
smash the tomatoes.
Just, yeah. I've heard him say that where you got 3 Italian guys just standing out in the driveway.
It's a great scene. But if you find somebody who makes a good sauce, just reheat it. Is my thing.
For sure.
I don't know if in my life I've had an incredible sauce, a Sunday sauce.
Oh,
I would certainly like to. I might have stumbled into one, but no, I don't know.
I feel like I don't know anything else.
Really? The Sunday sauce?
Just like some good
You're not Italian, are you? You got some Italian in you?
50%.
Okay.
Half.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it's because
Thank you for telling me that.
I didn't get the last name. That's why people don't. My mom's side of the family here is Capella.
Okay. All right. That
literally my mom's side is like straight off the boat. Grandmother's straight off the boat, and then my dad's side is a mutt. He doesn't even know.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he couldn't even tell you.
I don't know.
At least it's
I don't know what I am.
Ev.
That's why Evan McDowell is the least Italian name ever, but I'm half Italian.
I was saying your last name was Ev, first name Biggs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't outing you.
You gotta.
I say my name.
Let him do his bits, man. Let him do his bits. Don't get in the way of the fucking bits.
You got Frank Ev. You got his dad,
right.
Joey Ev.
Johnny Ev over there.
Johnny Tommy.
Yeah. All right. So a couple more things we want to talk about before we get in the NFL draft. Conor McGregor sells proper 12 whiskey. Is it whiskey?
Yes.
For $600 million.
Majority share, yeah.
I think Conor
He sold it.
Majority share. He's still like the face. He still has a lot of equity in it.
In a deal,
essentially think like Barstool, the one with Penn, like they basically did that.
Yeah.
For $600 million. Sounds like a good life. Spend a couple years knocking heads around, get knocked out a couple times, have a personality, make yourself a character, and then boom, cash out.
Are they making enough where that sale makes sense?
I think so. I think it's doing really well.
Yeah,
apparently it does well.
I would think so.
I would imagine overseas it's killing.
Because also he's made a deal with the UFC. Like if you look even in the ring, you see Proper 12.
Okay.
Like he's made some good moves. Also, he's just so popular. He's like he's like the Dos Equis guy for it. Like he's the face. Mm-hmm. They've almost been kind of copying the commercials where he sits in the big fancy chair with the suit.
I don't think I've ever been more disappointed in a change from one thing to another than I was when they went from the old gray-haired Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man in the world, to the new brown-haired guy, and the brown-haired guy just looked awful. I wish they would just kill the character. The gray-haired guy should have been the most interesting man in the world for the rest of time.
I think it's for us. It's when Angie Martinez went from Hot 97 to 105.1.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you that there is no loyalty in the business.
None.
Angie Martinez on Hot 97 was appointment. She was always eating. You remember that? Always eating.
You almost said appointment television on radio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, she was always eating. nonstop. She'd come back like, that's the new Ja Rule. She's just chewing.
They were
like Angie, fucking
Angela Yee.
Yeah. Oh no, Angela Yee was.
No. She's with 105.
She came from Hot 97.
No. I'm saying she replaced her, right?
Probably. I've been out of the satellite radio thing.
We're talking such New York
Yeah, but Angie leaving was mind blowing.
When did she leave?
Now it's probably
a while.
4 or 5 years at least. But when I tell you, she was hip hop Hot 97, mainstay.
Somebody says no loyalty is the Verizon guy switching to Sprint.
That's facts.
That is facts.
Big facts.
Yeah. That guy.
That was crazy. All of a sudden, the guy's just walking around with yellow. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, that was it was pretty good kind of a grift by him though. He's the Verizon guy for so many years. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And then just bang, gets the bag again.
The craziest would be Flo from Progressive going to going
to Geico,
State Farm or something.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
What's the biggest non-loyalty move in sports?
I
know wrestling's gonna have a ton. That's a whole.
Johnny Damon going Red Sox to Yankees.
He was who came to my mind first. I wish Ellsbury never came. He sucks. I hate Jacoby Ellsbury for life.
Yeah,
that guy was a waste. $175 million.
I feel like there's been some Cardinals to Cubs, Cubs to Cardinals.
Probably Brett Favre to the Vikings.
That's a big one.
Even though he felt disrespected. I like this
topic. The most non-loyalty move, the worst loyalty moves in sports. That's a good question. Chat, go ahead and work on that for me and produce some. Johnny Damon really comes to my mind because
for sure.
It was the rivalry was at its peak.
Would you put KD? Because it's not necessarily to me. It's got to be the perfect thing. It's got to be a rival. It's got to be a direct rival, like Oklahoma City and Golden State.
Oh, maybe
that's just a bitch move.
I got one. Ray Allen to the Heat. After all that,
yeah, I guess they turned on him for that.
They hated him for that.
Yeah, they turned on him.
I don't even know if they're still friends with him now because of it.
That's kind of bitch made though. That's kind of bitch made. They all came together in Boston from other teams. So what does it matter if he goes to another team like that? Not Paul Pierce. He was already there. But Kevin Garnett jumped from the Timberwolves to Boston.
I feel like Garnett, right now, wouldn't shake his hand. Just knowing how Garnett is.
Do you remember the deleted scene of Dave's Pizza Review? They talked about it for a while. I'm pretty sure.
And
I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure
I do.
Garnett still won't even talk to him. He still doesn't like him.
It's.
They hated. He's such a competitor. He hated the Heat. That was such a big rivalry.
Yeah, that was a tough.
A lot of people are saying a lot of Red Sox to the Yankees, like Wade Boggs from the Red Sox to the Yankees, Roger Clemens from the Red Sox to the Yankees. Although I think he went Blue Jays first. In fact, I know he went Blue Jays first.
Did Boggs do it right after to the Yankees? Yeah, and then the Devil Rays.
Didn't finish with the Rays, right? He got his 3,000 hit as a Ray.
I was Euclid played for the Yankees for a year later on in his career.
Did he really? I didn't know that. I don't
for
remember
a year later on in his career.
That's an all-time Hall of Fame story too. The Devil Rays were coming in and negotiated to have Boggs wear the Devil Rays hat.
They paid him for it.
And the Hall of Fame told him, "Fuck off." I could be wrong, but maybe they allowed it and then they never allowed it again and set it as a precedent. But I'm nearly positive Wade Boggs does not wear a Devil Rays hat.
I feel like they did allow it, but they were pissed.
All right, so then that's the.
I could be wrong.
I think Jordan Stout says Richard Sherman signing with the Niners is a sneaky one. Kind of is a sneaky one.
It is sneaky, but
they had a big rivalry.
It's fair.
There.
It's a fair one to bring up.
But he is also from. He played at Stanford, so he's from right there.
I don't think that one's as bad because I think the regimes changed. It was a little different.
Brett Hall from Canada to U.S. Hockey. Did that happen?
Is he in Boston? Maybe that in the Hall of Fame thing in the Cooperstown, they might have a little thing about it.
And then Boggs said I never wanted to go to the Hall of Fame as a Devil Ray.
Rick Pitino from Kentucky to Louisville. Yeah, but he didn't go from. I guess he won a national championship at both.
That is a sneaky. They hate each other.
Yeah, they do. That's a very very hot rivalry. especially in basketball. Somewhat in football, but in basketball, they're just slobbering over each other. Pitino, he went to the NBA and then came back, but he definitely went to Kentucky's main rival. Yes.
How about Paul Bearer turning on the Undertaker?
Mm-hmm.
You could do a whole show on wrestling.
We could.
You
could do a whole podcast
scripted.
on wrestling. Whole podcast. That is, if you should check out, you can go to any podcast app and search Barstool Wrestling, and you might find one. So I'm a top 8 finishers of all time today. Stone Cold Stunner #1. That's easy.
I only caught half of the Stone Cold documentary. I really did want to watch it.
I haven't. I got it on my DVR. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to stack some. There's the Piper documentary. I think they got Savage coming up next. So there's 8 of them. I'm going to stack them and then watch
They
them.
should have interviewed my parents.
Really? For what?
They were his neighbor.
Well, they interviewed Big Cat.
No, Macho Man.
Oh, for
They
Macho
were his
Man.
neighbors in the 80s.
Were they really?
Dead serious.
Randy
I've
Macho
told you
Man
this.
Savage.
Yeah.
You have now.
I just remember it as a pickup segment.
Pick'em segment, yeah, 100%.
Was this in New York?
Well, 1,000%, Staten Island, by the mall. My dad said Miss Elizabeth was beautiful, but he definitely was really protective of her. But he first introduced himself. My dad's like, "Yeah, I know you, Randy Poffer. You play for the Reds."
Yeah.
In the minor league system. And the guy looked at him like he had fucking 4 heads.
Well, he did.
He's like, "I'm a big fantasy baseball guy." So your brother played for the Tigers, right? And the guy looked at him like,
Wait, did fantasy baseball even exist back then?
yeah.
It's probably when it was invented.
It was it was one of the early
I've seen
ones.
documentaries. These are the first guys that it was late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
People were doing it.
Yeah.
Ashley Cole to Chelsea? Nothing.
Don't even know who that is.
Nope.
I assume it's a soccer player.
So yeah.
My hair can't figure itself out. Don't make fun of it, please. Fran to Nate's team from the Fran from Nate's team to the experts. Yeah, that one got a lot of play around the office. But Fran's happy. She is. She's where she needs to be. Let's see. LSU hated Saban for going to Bama. That's fair.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
Fair. But none of these are direct. Like Johnny Damon left the Red Sox.
Yes.
Went to the Yankees. Roger Clemens left the Red Sox, went to the Blue Jays, then to the Yankees. Brett Favre went to the Jets, and then the Vikings.
What's a decent one? I'm sorry. Now you think of the movie too, Moneyball.
Mm-hmm.
Giambi leaving to go to the Yankees. Build it, not necessarily a rival, but the A's were, hey, we're the poor man, we're building, you're the star, and they just
played in the ALCS in 2001.
And he just goes right there. That's a decent one.
That's fair, but I mean, that's just what happens in baseball.
Fair enough.
Like the Yankees,
Absolutely.
the Yankees have a history of just poaching your best players.
Absolutely.
The big fish eat the little fish in the world.
Absolutely.
That was 2001 ALCS, I believe, was when Jeter had the iconic play in his career where the umpire called the guy out and he was actually safe.
No, he was out.
Tagged him on the inside of the leg from that ridiculous play. Well, he stepped on home plate.
Darren
and got tagged.
Jeter,
I can't really
the
say
mental
much.
awareness
He had a
to be
fucking
there.
slide. All he had to do was slide.
All he had to do was slide. You're right, but he was in fact safe. Is that his iconic play, or is his iconic play the little pop up in fair territory where he caught it, took
Behind
5 steps, and then dove?
It's not one. There's not one. It's just it's just the jump throw.
What about the one with?
I think he's the all-encompassing jump throw.
What about that one where that little fat slob committed trespassing, reaching over
Jeffrey
the
Mayer?
fence?
Yeah, with
Changed all the bases.
with the short porch home run where he hit it 280 feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, not really.
And the Yankees win.
Yeah. So, NFL draft. Let's talk about this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 prop bets I'm about to give you for the NFL draft tomorrow night. And a couple of questions. First, a couple of statements. Number 1, I don't believe the Fields fall. Everybody's saying Fields might fall, Fields might this, and Max Kellerman yesterday on ESPN said something crazy about it that I'll talk about in a minute.
Oh, shocker! He said something crazy.
Yeah, he said he's worried the first 3 picks of the draft are going to go white guy, white guy, white guy. Who gives a shit? It's going to go quarterback. It's going to go football player, football player. That's what it's going to go.
Do people not see that they're so bad? They do that for the attention.
Well, it's just
there's no believing,
but it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible, Rico, to say that Justin Fields is sliding because of race. It's irresponsible and divisive for no fucking reason. And people don't tune into sports channels for that. We tune in to see sports talk. That it's irresponsible. And if that's what you're leaning on to have a career, fucking quit and go sell groceries or something. It's ridiculous.
How deep do they think Fields is going to fall?
So I don't believe he's getting out of the top 10. I think there's some thoughts he could get into the teens or even maybe the 20s.
I think I saw a mock draft to him at 32.
No, that was fucking
crazy?
Chris Sims.
That's Chris Sims.
All right.
I would be shocked if he fell out of the top 10. I mean, there's Panthers 8, Broncos 9, Patriots 10. I can't fathom one of those teams not jumping.
Well, the Patriots are 15.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
The Cowboys
We've
are
watched
10.
a lot of
Cowboys are 10.
Ohio State. The thing I like about him is he is elusive in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It always feels like he knows that a guy's coming and he knows to step up. And then another guy's coming and he knows to move to the left, move to the right. I like his pocket presence of an internal clock. And he definitely could fucking sling it. So.
Like, I just think with him, like, he has so many good games, and people point out, like, one game and be like, don't draft him because they got smoked by Bama, or don't draft him because he didn't look great in the Northwestern game, who had one of the best secondaries in the country. He literally sprained his right throwing thumb early in the game. Like, you guys a quarterback playing with his throwing thumb is fucked up.
What I like about
they're
him
pointing
is
at 1-2 games and be like, oh, don't draft this guy.
when he's going well and when he's in his groove, he looks like he's quarterbacking out of a rocking chair. It just looks so easy for him. He makes 40-yard on-the-dime throws look like I'm making a 4-yard throw. He makes difficult throws, look very, very easy. And, of course, he had a great receiving core at Ohio State, but he still made the throws. I like Fields more than NFL guys seem to like Fields.
And the Big Ten, the Big Ten is still one of those conferences that's like defense. They haven't fully abandoned the defense yet like the Big 12.
No, they're certainly not like the Pac-12 or the Big 12.
Yeah, that's my point. So he's still playing some guys who give a fuck.
You play some dogs in the Big Ten. You play some dogs.
You play some good front fours. Yeah. You play some good defensive coordinators. I don't think defense has completely abandoned in the Big Ten.
Penn State, maybe not last year. Penn State, every year you're going to be facing some dudes on that defense. Michigan, you're going to be facing some dudes.
Wisconsin.
That Northwestern defense last year was very good.
That's what they have. I mean, they have corners going first round. Like, that secondary is one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
People just have this like kind of blind, like, oh, it's Northwestern. They're not athletic. They're not like, yeah, they are. Like, what do you mean? No, they're not. And then they went and smoked Auburn.
One other question I have about this draft is, I don't know if I asked it yesterday. I don't think I did. I asked it on the college football podcast that we do, Unnecessary Roughness. So you've got, at the top of this draft, you have Trevor Lawrence for sure. Then you got Zach Wilson from BYU going number 2. Move. Then you got probably Mac Jones or Trey Lance going 3. Then you got Trey Lance. Then you got Justin Fields, okay? Kyle Trask had a phenomenal senior year, was dominant at Florida, put up huge numbers. I understand he might not have all the projectables of certain guys like a Trey Lance, but Mac Jones and Kyle Trask felt very similar to me in that they were surrounded by weapons and they both put up huge numbers. I don't see that there's a disconnect between my eyes and my brain and Mac Jones' NFL future and Kyle Trask. Why is Mac Jones possibly going to go 3 and Kyle Trask isn't going to go first round? Kyle Trask is going to be second or third round pick. I just feel like they're the same guy.
And if he goes to the wrong team, he's never going to get a shot.
Never going to get a shot.
I mean,
I guess it's this question about 2 guys. Why did Kyle Trask fall off the earth, and why is Mac Jones smack dab in the middle of this thing when I feel like they're very similar?
Florida played really good against Bama.
I think people they lost. I think people get very caught up in that, like what you just saw. Bama wins the championship. Mac Jones looks great. They shred Ohio State. They shred everybody. They shred Florida. I think people just get so caught up in that recency bias of and this year especially, you didn't get to talk to these guys. Like it was pretty much all just pro days. That's it. That's all you got. Pro days and tape.
So Kyle Trask was awful against Oklahoma in that bowl game, but in their other losses,
they also had no receivers in that game.
Yeah,
either.
they had all opted out. In the other losses, he I think he scored 35 against A&M. He scored, I think, 34 against LSU, and they lost by 6. He was in the 40s, 52, 46 or something?
Like 41, 42, maybe even more.
I think it was 52, 46. He scored.
It was that high.
He scored points. I mean, he did well against all those teams. I just don't understand the difference of. I don't know why Mac Jones caught the hype train and Kyle Trask didn't. It felt like they were on the same path.
Well, I mean, speaking of props, so I have a prop for over 5.5 quarterbacks in the first round, plus 500. I think there's a chance a guy like Trask or somebody like that goes late in the first round.
How many are absolute locks?
5.
I think 5 are locks.
I'm basically betting. I think 5 go in the top 10. I'm basically banking a plus 500 that one team trades up for a guy late and doesn't want to wait till day 2.
That could be
because even like Trask could be. I think I saw this mentioned somewhere on ESPN or somewhere. Trask that the Bucks could even have interest with him at the last pick. Let him sit for a year or 2. It makes sense.
My only problem with that it's a very good bet.
And people love Davis Mills. People, Kellen Mond all of a sudden is kind of shooting up a little bit.
It's a good bet at plus 500. If it were like even money, I would shy away from it. But plus 500 is worth the shot.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just all it takes is one team to fall in love with one guy.
I just is Trask, Mond, maybe I don't think Jamie Newman gets all that high.
Mills.
But Davis Mills.
People love Mills, apparently.
People in the NFL seem to love Mills, and that confuses me too. Like the same Davis Mills I've seen that couldn't score 14 points at Stanford.
Like they're basically saying there's no. From what I'm hearing, there's like no way he gets out of the second round.
Really?
Which is just crazy.
Who's this?
Davis Mills.
That's tough.
People apparently love him. Like absolutely love him.
It is just it is wild, the gulf you see, the big disconnect you see between what your eyes see on Saturday and what pro scouts' eyes see to project him to the next level.
I just think people he could be good. I'm not even talking about him specifically. I just think people overthink some of this shit way too much.
They're way too cute. You ever heard the story about Vernon Golston? They said he's an Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
They said when he takes his shirt off, he's a top 5 pick. And my father's a Jet fan. He goes, well, why don't we just let horny teenage girls make the fucking picks? The guy had like a handful of tackles at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Was really bad. We're just drafting him because it's not like they
we said it yesterday. That was
Way
like the
too cute.
Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson. Like the guy who showed out at every level against every good team. Like you don't want him. You want the guy at TCU that was like decent. Like what? Like you're overthinking it.
Well, I felt that's why Dak Prescott kind of fell, because he got this knock of once a knock gets put on you, he had this knock of being a dual threat quarterback. Well, in his senior year, his rushes were way down. His efficiency was great. It was 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His numbers were very pro-worthy, what you want out of a quarterback. He didn't run as much, but he still fell to 4th round, 135th pick. And say what you will about him, he's overrated, he's underrated, but he's still been a very solid NFL starting quarterback.
For sure. No, absolutely.
Against a ton of all the first round guys, or all the good defensive players come out of the SEC. Am I overstepping that?
Sure.
So if you're putting up
SEC
numbers,
and Big Ten,
like Trask did really well. So what you really don't see in a lot of teams, and it's frustrating, is like, all right, and you said perfectly about the Bucks. All right, we got our guy right now. Who's the next guy? You know, and
I mean, he's not going to play forever,
right? But it is difficult committing a second-round pick for a guy that you know will get no snaps.
Well, hell,
the next year.
Look who got laughed at last year. The Packers did it. The Packers traded up and got, or I don't know if they traded up. I don't remember.
Love.
They got Jordan Love, but Aaron Rodgers has at least 3 to 5 more years left.
Well, that was stunning just because he's in his mid-30s. He's not 43.
Right.
And they also needed receivers so badly. Even though they played well without him, but still. It's
what I mean more is like you look and it's like, all right, it's like when you look at like your car and it's like, do I really need to, like, it's all right, it's running, and I'll run it out till it dies. But then when it dies, you have no plan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, I think the teams that jump out, Vikings for the next guy, like a guy like Trask. You know what I mean? Like start looking at a guy like Trask.
Freddie V8, don't spread slander. Dak did not have a DUI before the draft. Dak had a stop for a DUI. He did not get a DUI.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones has 2 DUIs. If you're going to do something, do it right.
I know at least one. I'm not sure about 2. I know one for sure.
I'm trying to think of who else is like.
I completely forgot about Jordan Love. Yeah, they used their first-round pick on a guy that probably won't play a meaningful snap for at least 4 years.
It just made no sense. Absolutely no sense.
It doesn't, but it's tough because I'm in their corner to
Rodgers
say,
is so like
if
it's
you
he's
don't
not 40.
If you don't think you're ever going to get another guy like that in the next couple of years, then all right, you put your nuts on the table.
Actually,
it is tough.
And I hate some teams like that. The Packers and the Colts had such great quarterback luck. The Packers went from Brett Favre, and then they drafted Aaron Rodgers. And then the Colts, they had Manning for 12 years, number 1 pick, 12 years, and then they sucked the year Andrew Luck was coming out. They got another good. Now it didn't work out really because is he ever going to come back and play, or is he just really going to stick with this?
I remember saying in the beginning I thought he'd be back. See, he's one of those guys, he's so quiet, like you just don't even hear about him anymore.
Yeah.
But he's a guy out of nowhere, you just pop up at a press conference in 2 years. He's like, you know what, like I'll play a couple more years. I don't see it, but you never know.
That's a long time to not be reading defense.
But I think with him, it's like, all of a sudden it's kind of like almost, it's different with Gronk, but I'm saying like it's kind of like, oh, your body feels a little better. You're like, you know what, like maybe I got a couple years left in me.
Yeah. Somebody says Jordan Love can have that 15-year vet career. Yeah, he could, but he's not going to start until he's 5th year in. Not going to start until he's 28 years old. So he better be good by the time.
It's not really like Rodgers has gotten hurt much. Like he could be like almost like he could play for a long time. He could be Brady-esque.
When's Rodgers' deal up though?
That I don't know.
Because he wants fucking out anyway, right?
Yeah,
I could see it.
Brandon, how'd you feel about Coley's tweet today? I didn't see it. Is it the T-shirt tweet? Yeah, I texted him this T-shirt about a month ago and said, "Do not buy this. This is mine." And
I think he tweeted saying he completely ignored you and
he bought 6
as many as he wanted.
Yeah. Which is fine. This is wonderful. This is one of my best T-shirts. I just got a new shipment in yesterday. I got about 5 heaters for you guys coming up.
Chuck Naso had a T-shirt, and then I went to the website, and they didn't have it. Sold out.
Have you gotten your
Amanda Beckett from Can't Hardly Wait?
Oh, I saw that yesterday.
It's not on the website.
I saw that yesterday.
I wanted that, and I want Kenny Fisher. What are you gonna do?
The Team ZD shirts are available on the website. The team expert shirt.
Whole dozen shirts.
Have you gotten yours yet?
No, I have not.
If I were ranking, I know I said this yesterday, but if I were ranking the top 5 dozen logos, ZD's comfortably in the top 5.
It's like a shirt, right? It's like a work shirt, like buttons and shit.
No. We got T-shirts too.
Yeah, but what we wearing?
What we'll be wearing is a button-up shirt. I believe. Yeah.
Right. like Family Feud.
Yeah,
that's funny.
We'll be wearing a work shirt, like we're filling up somebody's gas. All right, I'll jump into my draft props that I like. I'm gonna cancel this one because this one goes directly against you, so I won't do that. Here's just a couple to think about, and I'm putting them out there because of the odds, but I don't think teams love Penei Sewell as much as we think teams love Penei Sewell.
I've been hearing there was a couple of rumors that came out today.
I
think it was the Giants and the Chargers were interested in trying to trade up potentially.
Really?
For him specifically.
I've heard stuff
that could be just whatever. I mean, draft, you hear a million things around draft time.
People think he's more suited to guard, like his arms aren't that long. I don't know. We all assume coming out of college football he'd be the first tackle taken. I think Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern plus 350 to be the first offensive lineman drafted is really worth looking at.
I like it. I've talked about him all week. I think he's awesome. I'm telling you, he held Chase Young in check. Very impressive.
These are not go out and empty your bank account bets, but at plus 350 you can drop $50. Boom.
Also, you want to talk about the arm? Like his arms are huge. He's a huge guy. Huge.
I love Rashawn Slater at plus 350. Now the guy that's flying up draft boards. I believe you can get J.C. Horn from South Carolina at plus 300 to be the first. This is all on the Barstool Sportsbook app, and you can do it in Illinois, Michigan. Plus 300 to be the first defensive player, and if you like that bet, double down because it's plus 225 to be the first cornerback. So you could, if you hit that, you could hit a couple of bets because he has come up. I think it's between him and Patrick Surtain.
Yep.
For a cornerback, I think it's between him, Surtain, and Micah Parsons for a first defensive player. So I think that is very, very worth it. A little head-to-head here.
I also think that's the strategy, too, like you said. Pick the same unit amount that you like.
Yeah.
Sprinkle them all, and they're all, if they're pluses, so if you hit one, you got to hit 1 out of 3 at 300.
Correct.
And you're back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a couple of long shots. I like yours, the 500. I think that's the strategy. Just sprinkle them all and see what pays out.
No, the draft is never one of those, bankroll moments. The draft is just something you're going to watch it anyway, get a little action for yourself.
Because there's nothing really that you can control. Like in a game, you tell me Ohio State's going to run all over Michigan. Ev, why do you think that? Well, I'm telling you, their offensive line is so much more skilled. The running game, they can't keep up. It's like, all right, that's something you almost feel like you can control. With this shit, it's other people's opinions.
Yep.
Like, I don't feel great.
You can't get inside somebody's head.
Yeah, I don't feel great loading up on certain things like that,
So a couple more here. Another head-to-head. I think Javonte Williams, North Carolina, plus 257 to go ahead of Travis Etienne. I just think Javonte Williams is a more pro-ready back.
Plus what?
257.
I like that.
Over 1.5 running backs in the first round, plus 240. I think Najee Harris is going first round, and I think Javonte Williams, North Carolina, goes at near the end of the first round. I think somebody, probably the Dolphins, trade up and try to go ahead and snag him if they didn't take Harris. Total offensive players in the first round, over 18.5. It's an offensive draft. It is a loaded receiver quarterback draft. I got 5 quarterbacks. I got about maybe 5, 6, 7 receivers.
You're saying
perhaps.
At least 2 linemen that you mentioned.
No, I think offensive linemen's at like 6.
Is it that many?
Yeah, there's the USC kid.
I'm doing conservative.
There's the USC
and also
kid.
It's good year. Like edge rushers is real thin this year. Like there's some thin defensive positions this
year.
Are you
laying money on that?
No, you're getting plus 200 on that.
For over 18.5?
Over 18.5, yep.
Okay. Give it to me.
SEC players drafted. That is my boost on the Barstool Sportsbook app. SEC players drafted over 12.5. Over 12.5. I can give you 12.
It's just a crazy statement.
In the first round, excuse me.
12.5 SEC.
So Devontae Smith, definitely. These are 12 I think are definite. It's Mac Jones, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, Patrick Surtain, Christian Barmore. That's 6 from Bama alone. Then I got Kyle Pitts. I got J.C. Horn. I got Jamar Chase. Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. Now, here are the ones I need. I need Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I need linebacker Jamin Davis from Kentucky. And then I've got to hit, I need Terrace Marshall to sneak up in there. I need Kadarius Toney, perhaps Landon Dickerson, Kyle Trask maybe sneaks into the back of the first round. I've got a lot to hit.
I think Tony goes in the first round.
I think Toney could very well go in the first round. I think Elijah Moore goes in the first round.
I like that.
I think Landon Dickerson from Alabama could sneak in the back of the first round. There's teams that need a center. So I love
6 Alabama guys in the first
6 Alabamas. Yeah, and it's not like that's unusual. That's business as usual.
And it's not even 6 like it's 6 like pretty much locks.
Yeah.
so
No, that's
sick.
not. It's not. We
It's
got
6 like almost
It's
a guarantee.
So sick.
I mean, they could get 7. It really is, and it's not newsworthy. It's not noteworthy. It's just Alabama football. I need Saban to retire or die. That's what I need. College football needs to be out from the grip of this madman that gets every good player. And last one,
The 7-on-7 drills are like more skilled than most conferences.
in order, 3, 4, 5. Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase plus 300. 3, 4, 5. Those are that's my last bet. I love it. I love a little bit of side action because, again, this isn't a college football Saturday where you start losing and you just start getting beat upside the head and you get depressed. This is just a little extra, little nice little boost of football right here in the middle of non-football
They're all
season.
pretty much plus odds.
And they are all plus odds.
So-
Yeah.
Right.
So, again, you hit 1 of 3 like you said, then you are going to be good. All right, let's go ahead and get to the picks tonight. Rico, May 1st is Saturday, so your first time being you'll probably end up winning the month, and then next week we'll see about your belt. I have a stand-in belt till we can get your belt made.
Sweet.
I'll belt you, and please stop saying belt me, bitch.
Okay.
Just say belt me or something because you're speaking indirectly to me. You're just calling me a bitch. Rico, I will let you go first because here you are winning at 33 and 35.
Yeah.
Actually, can you win the belt if you're...
I hit money lines.
All right, very good.
Speaking of money lines, anybody hit?
Woof.
Woof. Oh, is that the Doggy Diamond coming back today? Rangers Athletics money line. Jack's working on it. It's going to be a parlay. Rangers money line, Athletics money line, Padres -1.5, Grizzlies -1, Portland's on a back-to-back, and Jazz -8.
If you ever do that fucking barking thing again, you're off the show.
People are allowed to bring their dogs in. I can't bring a Doggy Diamond parlay that hit last week.
Yeah,
Right in your
no.
fotch.
Oh, shout out to Dave Portnoy, whose Davey Day Night parlay hit for the first time last night.
Also, actually, so he's doing it again today, and if it goes 0-4
Yeah.
plus 3,800 of credit.
Really? That's pretty
So
good.
basically, and then it's a 25 max bet. So if he goes 0 it's like almost 1,000.
Rico better give me another plus 1,000 parlay, says Freddie V88.
All right.
Work on that. Give me a couple of home runs,
Yeah,
guys.
literally 2 guys hit a home run.
doesn't
I can't. I mean, I hit
Wait,
it. Nah,
but
you're only cutting
Rico,
into your profits.
Rico, I'll make you this deal. Doesn't have to be
right.
on your card. Just throw it out there. Just
right.
throw it out there. If
'Cause
people want to
Judge-
take it, they can take it.
Judging one on Giancarlo, we're only plus like 220 plus 290. You get a couple guys that are like 300-400. That thing could be close to 2,000.
All right, I'm going
Yeah.
to give you a guy who's fucking due for a home run.
All right.
Go ahead. Do yours.
Big Ev, you go. I'll go next.
There was a couple day games. I got Twins money line, Marlins money line. Both are on a pick 'em, I believe. Got Yankees -1.5, Knicks -4, and it should be live on the sportsbook sometime today. The Chopped Cheese Special, Yankees Knicks money line parlay. Get it there. Barstool Sportsbook exclusive. Bet with Big Ev, your boy.
Chopped cheese hit yesterday, so could hit again today.
That was in the Chopped Cheese.
That you,
The Chopped Cheese is special. It's the
I thought
Yankees
you
Knicks
said that-
parlay.
Oh, I see. Excuse me.
that
My
was
fault.
just a different.
It's a nice little boost for you. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go with the Cavs -3 over the Magic. I like the Wizards money line. The Wizards are better than people think the Wizards are. I like them money line to beat the Lakers. Suns -3.5 over the Clippers. Orioles money line over the Yankees because the Yankees are not a good baseball team. And Cubs money line over the Braves because I don't think the Braves are a very good baseball team either. So those are my picks. Orioles money line, Cubs money line, Cavs, Wizards, and Suns. Those are my 5 picks.
Wizards have sneaky been hot.
Wizards they're really good defensively. They remind me of when we first noticed the Knicks were pretty good early this year because they were just it was before Randall really took off offensively. They were just getting after people, and they were every game was like they were winning 102-98 or 98-94. The Wizards are very, very similar to that.
Yeah, I think they would be getting more shine if the Knicks hadn't been on this crazy run.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of been on a run almost simultaneously, but the Knicks are just better.
Do you feel like
the Knicks.
Do you feel like the foregone conclusions of what we feel like the NBA is, whether we think it's going to be the Lakers against the Nets, do you think that has hurt? Because I don't feel like this particular Knicks run, I compare it to something like Linsanity. This Knicks run is big in New York, but it doesn't feel like it's like moved the needle that big nationwide.
Because it's fucking empty.
Yeah.
Every night.
If the Garden were rocking.
The SVP did it the other night. One big thing. The radios would have people. I was at the game. It's fucking awesome. Julius, like that shit matters. This is it's really upsetting because this New York has been sold out forever when they're bad. Knicks tickets are hard to come by when they suck. Imagine when they have a coach who's good, a great star, younger guys, guys who you actually drafted, you didn't blow your whole load on quickly. Like, it looks like things are going the right way. There's going to be playoff basketball in the spring in the Garden for the first time in forever.
I mean, we might have home court in the first round.
I know. And
if we stay where we're at.
It's a robbery of that environment because I know you haven't been here too long. When I tell you you've been to Knicks games,
of course,
it's fucking the Garden moves the needle more than
it's like
anybody.
You said, when they're 20 and 60,
it's a basketball town.
I agree. I haven't. The one thing I wanted to do when I got here was I wanted to go to the Garden for basketball a lot.
I mean, even I watch the Knicks game every time they play. I mean, even with like a couple thousand of the fans in the stands, every time he's at the line, MVP.
It's crazy.
MVP.
I mean, even growing up in Mississippi, I knew the Garden was the basketball. That's where basketball mecca.
Yeah,
I knew that's where I wanted to go. In fact, one time in 2014, I was potentially going to take a trip up here because I thought I was going to have to cover the Heisman Trophy ceremony. First thing I did was look up the Garden, look up the tickets, and even 2014, I don't think they were good, but the tickets were pricey.
I think that was right after they had the one really good year. Probably my favorite year I've been like conscious to watch the Knicks was Melo won the scoring title.
Yep.
Chandler was Defensive Player of the Year. JR 6-man, they were the 2 seed. And then that was Paul George's coming out party, and they lost in the second round.
This guy says, as a Bucks fan, I'm not scared of the Knicks at all. Well, you probably should be as a Bucks fan. You should fear anybody that you're going to play in the playoffs.
As a Bucks fan, congrats. You have a great star. You're never going to win anything.
Never want to win. Like, you should be scared of everybody you play in the playoffs.
I love the city of Milwaukee. They're just going to be in this, like, purgatory of, like, 1-2 seed and just never win a championship.
Oh, we never even got to our top 5 athletes without a ring.
Save that for tomorrow. You want the parlay?
Yeah, please. Let's save that for tomorrow.
This guy has 0 home runs on the year.
Oh, man.
He's hit 20 or so in the past. He's fucking due. Gurriel from Toronto and Ronald Acuna plus 46.25.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Tonight's the night. The guy's going to hit a homer.
If you hit a plus 46.25 and taking a guy who hasn't hit a home run, then this has to be the newest, biggest bet at Barstool.
Okay.
Because you've already hit it once, and it was kind of it just happened.
I could lose 9 in a row, and I'm still in the plus money. That's what's fun about it.
You are.
What was Gurriel just himself to hit a home run?
Gurriel himself is
because I've been wanting to add
600.
Because I've been wanting to add Clint Frazier to one because he hasn't homered all year. He is so due. Even though honestly I love Frazier. He stunk this year at the plate.
You want to get fucking nuts?
He's
you are. I think you're pretty much sufficiently nuts already.
You want to get nuts?
The only thing with Clint Frazier is he bats like 8 or 9.
No, you got to get nuts.
You adding Frazier to see this thing go to like 15,000?
If he's in, you got to see if he's in the starting lineup though. He might not.
He's not even. He's not. Wait. Yeah, he's not even listed.
He might not be starting.
He's
today.
not even listed. All right. Well, we won't get too nuts.
I mean,
Frazier's so due. So due.
So is Gurriel.
All right. I guess this isn't the yak. I can't just end it, so I have to go. I have to stretch a little bit.
Well, let's get this. Hold on.
A Knicks fan saying the Bucks have nothing to look forward to is peak comedy. Listen. Stop. I think I'd rather be the Knicks.
Yeah, we're having fun with this shit.
Because the Knicks are kind of back. They got Julius Randle, and I think now that time period of free agents not looking at the Knicks is kind of over. I think they're about to start getting free agents
we basically, even though we didn't draft him, we basically just grew an organic superstar.
I'd rather be the Knicks going forward.
We basically grew an organic superstar. We have a good young core. We have good role players.
Want the derby positions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Known Agenda 6-1 in the 1 hole.
Love Known Agenda.
Like the King 50-1 2. Brooklyn Strong 50-1 in the 3.
I'm just judging names.
Yeah, it's just like me and my grandma. Keep Me in Mind 50-1. Sainthood in the 5 50-1. Old Bezos 20-1. 6. Mandalowin is at 7. He's 15-1. Medina Spirit 15-1 8. Hot Rod Charlie, love that name. 8-1 at the 9. Midnight Bourbon, 20-1
Ooh,
at the
that's a good
10.
name,
Yeah, that's
too.
Brandon's. 11. Dynamic 1, 20-1. Helium, 12, 50-1. Hidden Stash, that's a great one. 13, 50-1. Essential Quality, 2-1 in the 14. Rock Your World, 5-1, 15. King Fury, 20-1, 16. Highly Motivated, 10-1, 17. Superstock, 30-1, 18. Soup and Sandwich, 30-1, 19, and Bourbonic, 30-1, 20.
I blacked out.
The fucking names.
Soup and Sandwich.
Soup and Sandwich, Brooklyn Strong.
Midnight Bourbon?
Oh, man.
Midnight Bourbon.
Yeah,
man,
there's they will be a lot of exacta plays
If
on
w-
names alone.
If we don't get Elio on here, and hopefully maybe by the end of the week we will be able to, you'll be here tomorrow. But if we don't get him, can you at least talk to him and bring his expertise?
Yeah.
And-
Absolutely.
Or text him or something
All
and
right.
get Elio's
I think
picks.
he fucking gave his pick.
You guys are boy, the Bucks fans are just crying like bitches here. They're just saying Knicks would sell their whole team for Giannis.
No thanks.
I just
good.
think he's a star with a ceiling. It doesn't feel like he's the guy that's going to win a championship. I don't know. I could be very, very wrong. I just like what the Knicks are doing.
Elio's pick.
No, and for me, it's not even. It's just like I just think what they've.
Nobody said they'd rather have Julius Randle than
No,
Giannis.
no,
nobody
no,
said that. I
no.
wouldn't rather have Julius Randle. I'd rather have what the Knicks are building than what I feel like the Bucks window is kind of closing.
Yeah, but giving up 6 quarters for $1, you lose out.
All right, that's Pick Central. The Yak is up next.